One of my students just requested that I do a video about Airtable CRM integration, so we're going to go ahead and do that for him. So if you go to n8n, I created this template. Now you probably know from our previous video that all you need to do is go into this CRM router node, double click it, and just go to the bottom and go ahead and click add a routing rule. And there you're just going to enter in this same exact information for the input. And then for the output, you're just going to name it whatever you want. But, it's usually going to be something like just the name of the CRM. So in this case, I'm naming it Airtable, and I'm just renaming the output to Airtable. So it's really easy to see. Now, once you've done that, just copy that over here and put it over here so that it's the same. You don't want to have two different switch nodes, okay? And then all you need to do is go into the variables node because this is where we basically tell our n8n workflow which CRM that we want to use. So just make sure that you update it from HubSpot or whatever to say Airtable. Okay. Now, once you've done that, all we need to do is basically go into this node and set up the credential and then create a table and then hook them up. So go ahead and double click on this. Now, here it's saying that we need to set up a credential. So click on that, create. Now it's asking for either an access token or OAuth 2. So let's go ahead and, oh, by the way, it's saying that we need the following scopes. So that's perfect. We know exactly what to set up for our Airtable. So, all right, so go ahead and go to Airtable and sign up if you have not already. Once you sign up, you should see a screen that looks like this. Now we just need to find our access token. So go ahead and go over to your profile over here. Click on account. It's going to say that API keys will be deprecated by the end of January 24. So API keys have already been deprecated, and now we just need to use something called a personal access token, which is essentially the same thing. So go ahead and click on go to Developer Hub. Well, we can go to personal access tokens and then click on create token. We'll just call this n8n, and the scopes that it's asking for is basically going to be the scopes that are in n8n. So it's going to be records, read and write, and then bases of read. So it's going to be data records, read and write, and schema bases read. Perfect. All right, now once that's done, all we need to do is add the access. So we can just say add all the access and also add all the access. So that is perfect. Now we just need to create the token. Now, once this is done, just go ahead and click on copy and go back to n8n, paste, save. And that is it. Connection tested successfully. You just learned how to set up Airtable CRM integration with n8n. Now let's go back over here and just make sure that we create our base and create our table and then fill it out. So let's go over to Airtable over here, and then we're going to click build an app on your own. All right. So now once we're here, we can just rename this. So this is going to be the base, right? So we'll name the base something like client CRM. And then we'll just leave it at table 1. That's fine. And remember, for the information in the table, what exactly do we need? Well, we need the name. We don't need notes, so we can actually just get rid of some of these. Don't need these, right? What we do need is we need one for phone number, because remember, the information that we need is basically the client's name and the client's phone number. So we're going to call this single line text. That's fine. We'll just update that real quick to say phone. All right, so go back to n8n, and the point here is we need to get those information. So the base is going to be client CRM, the table is going to be table 1, and then we're just going to hit retry to make sure that it matches correctly. So that looks perfect because we want to match on phone number because that's more unique than the name. And basically it's going to be matching to this, and the name is going to be equal to the client name that is coming from the tool call. So that is perfect. Now, all that there's left to do is to finish this one over here, but go ahead and double click in. Now here, it's going to automatically populate with your credential. The operation is going to be search because we're basically trying to search a record in the Airtable. The base is going to be client CRM. That's correct. The table is going to be table 1, which we just created. And finally, we're just going to need to enter a formula so that our n8n knows exactly what to search in order to be able to find that record. So as you probably are able to guess, we need to search for the client's phone number. So I've just written some code to do that. And basically what it's saying is that it's saying we need to search for the phone number that equals basically the phone number that is in the VAPI tool call. And this code is basically the same exact thing that we put earlier into the Airtable node for when we book the appointment. So that's exactly how it's booking it into the Airtable. So that's exactly how it's going to fetch it. So, all right. So now everything is completely done. Now, if you want to get this information, head over to my school community. Just go over to this YouTube tab and then click on the post I'm going to make. Click on the documents I'm going to upload and just hit download to get those files. And if you guys have any questions, head over to the one-on-one support tab where you can ask any question that you want, and I'll make sure that you get the help that you need, because my goal is to make sure that you're just learning every day, getting better every day, and hopefully finding some clients and making some money. So if you enjoyed that, make sure to hit subscribe, and I hope you have a good one. See you next video.